Hey y'all, welcome back. So I was trying to clean my desk and a little camera shot here. This is a whole bunch of piles of everything. So what I'm gonna do is make a cover for this. This here, I save absolutely everything, and these two end pieces were one of these, and this is what holds fabric when you buy it by like 1 or 2 yards or 5 yards, and I keep these because they're super thick and you can use them to make little mini journals out of. So since I already showed you how to do that the other day, I already put it together. And I have a pile of paper, I have a pile of scrapbook paper, and a pile of cardstock. So a lot of these are too small to use. I keep everything. Okay. And I think what's gonna fit, not quite. That's not wide enough. Okay, we're gonna use this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get everything else out of the way real quick. And we're going to center, make sure that's right side up. We're gonna center it right there. And what we're going to do is, let's see, I guess it doesn't really matter which side is which. I'll make this the outside. Okay, this will be the outside. So we're going to start with glue right in the middle here. Generous amount. This is Fabrifix, and I put it in a sweet sugar bell icing piping bottle because it's easier to squeeze out. Actually, I'm going to use that, so I'm going to put that down. Okay, we're just going to flip this over and center it. And I can see already that this wasn't cut entirely straight, but that's quite all right because we're not here for perfection. So I haven't used paper to cover a journal in a while, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, so I'll kind of move there. Okay, so I'm a little excited. I have 17 subscribers as of this afternoon. I haven't checked in a while because I've been busy trying to clean up what's going on in this big messy craft room here. I should have named my business The Messy Desk, because that is nothing short of the truth. Okay, so that's about as centered as I'm going to get it. And I'm going to go ahead and crease these sides here just to make sure that it's going to be easier to put them down. And I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Okay. Yeah, that's not really straight either. But it's good that that cardboard is that thick because it's easier to make it go that way. Okay, so now that we did that, we've actually kind of mitered those corners already. I'm not good at cutting that part off because I always cut off too much and then you'll end up seeing the cardboard there. But I do start in the corners and I get that glued up and held down. And we're just gonna crease that in there so it butts up with the edge of the cover there, because it's going to be easier to put in that mitered corner once we fold up these edges, top, bottom, and sides. Actually, my bone folder would work good there. Okay. And I got a new light today from Amazon, and so I am able to, oh, I'm not in camera, I'm able to video this at night, which is a good thing, because I'm working on another journal that I've been working on all month. And one of my friends asked me last night if I would be willing to donate a journal that I have made, or just, you know, one that I don't what she actually said was, one that you don't particularly like. And I said, I do have a few of those. They were at the very beginning of when I started, and I still have them, only because they're obviously the very first ones that I've done, so they're definitely not even in the range of what I do today. And I haven't been doing this very long. Well, actually, maybe a little longer than I thought. I started watching other people on YouTube making this about 2 years ago. I started my business in May of last year, so it's been just a little over a year, and I love this. This is definitely soothing, relaxing, meditative stuff. However, since I just started videoing and my uploading videos to YouTube, oh, totally lost my train of thought. Squirrel. Okay. Well, I guess if I remember, I'll let you know what I was gonna say. Okay, we're just gonna get glue all over that, and then push that over and hold that down as well. Oh, I remember what I was saying. So she said, one that I don't really care for or whatever. The early ones are not as good as the ones that I've been making recently. That's for sure. The longer you do something, the better you get at it. Funny story. One of my girlfriends and I were talking one day over coffee, and she said, I make quilts also, and I've made a few other crafts aside from junk journals, but we were talking one day and I was showing her the latest pictures of whatever it was that I had just finished making, and she said to me, "Oh my God, you're so good at everything you do." And all I said was, "Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, that means a lot to me that you think my stuff is really, really good." And then I got to thinking about it later that night, and my thought was, well, of course I'm good at everything I do, because I don't do anything that I'm not good at. And so I kind of tried to broaden my horizons a little bit and step out of my comfort zone and do things that I'm not good at until I get good at them, and find out what those things are so I can continue doing those things and not only make myself happy because I'm making them, but making other people happy in the process, because that's what makes me happy, is to make things and not necessarily give them all away anymore, since I did start a business. However, I love to see the look on people's face when they get something that I've made. And a friend of mine asked me to make her a custom journal because one of her co-workers was having her first baby, and oops, and she works from home, so she only talks to this woman via, you know, Zoom videos and whatnot, and so she had to mail it out of town because that woman doesn't live in the same city. And I said to her, you need to let me know what she thinks of it, because, you know, for any of you that have been doing this, even for a short period of time, you know that making a custom journal is not always easy, because you don't know if they're going to like it, you know. All right, that's going to be my inside cover right here. Okay, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to kind of measure this, right? I don't really, I'm a lousy measurer because I don't like to, so we just kind of eyeball measure things. And I'm going to cut that about right there and about right there. So I always do a lot of things. I always forget what I'm talking about, especially when I'm standing in a room talking to myself at, what time is it, midnight? I don't even know. I always measure these. That's what it was. I always measure these so I can put those in there in 3 separate pieces, because that way I just put fabric or of some sort there, and then it hides the stuff that I want it to hide. All right, lift that up, make sure it's not going to impede opening or closing, and make another mark right there. So I do have a funny story. Back in January, I was talking to somebody and they said, you need to start your own YouTube channel. And I said, I'll have to look into that. And so as I was researching, now mind you, this was back in January, as I was researching how to set up a YouTube channel, I inadvertently set up a YouTube channel back in January, and I didn't realize it until, I don't know, last month, 2 months ago maybe. And I only realized that by accident because I had, it had signed me out, my Google had signed me out, and so I had to log back in, and when I did, I have several gazillion emails, it seems, can't keep up with them, it's way too many. And the email that I had set it up with was a different one than what I was trying to sign in to. And so my light went out. I've been in here more than 6 hours. So I was telling one of my friends about it. Actually, I think I told a couple of friends about that because I thought it was really funny, because I was not yet ready to start uploading YouTube channels, and I had 1 subscriber for months. Very funny. And then I was getting on YouTube to watch, you know, there's a handful of women that I watch on YouTube, and it signed me out, and so I signed back in, and now I apparently have 2 YouTube channels. The other one has no videos on it at the moment because I didn't realize that until, again, I got signed out and I had to sign back in. And so there's no reason for me to have 2 YouTube channels, and so I don't really know what to do with that one because I don't know how to delete it because I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. All right, when you got glue oozing on the sides, as long as the glue is still wet on your fingers, you can just do this and it'll roll off. And if it has dried anywhere on here that you don't want it to dry on, I have one of these, and it's actually for ink, but it's a sand eraser, and if you just rub, like there's a little bit of glue right there, if you just rub lightly like that, it will get that glue off of there. Okay, what do we have left here? Will not fit. No, that's a little bit too small. And all we're doing here is covering that because I'm going to put a piece of material, I'm not sure, either side or just straight down the entire section. We'll see when I get there. Okay. And so the inside of this, what it's going to be is all that stack of papers that I had, just regular papers, not the cardstock. The papers are going to be my signatures, and the cardstock will be made into like cards and, you know, journal cards and journal tags and whatnot. Fun little things, maybe some little mini notebooks, because I do have a ton of paper on my desk right now. All right. Oh, what did I do? I grabbed the wrong one. I don't know what happened there. Let's do that again. What did I do? Oh no, it definitely is too short. That wouldn't... Okay, well, we're going to use that one. We're going to have to improvise. So, let's ink this one. See, I don't pay attention very often. That's my measuring skills, eyeball stuff. Okay. Trying not to keep my videos too long, only because I live out in the country and my internet connection is not always stable. So this will probably be a 2-parter. Okay. Because of course the only thing I don't have on here is fabric, except for this little piece here. And this is like paper fabric. It was really cool, and it came in a pack of fabric that I got from Dollar Tree with a whole bunch of, I don't even know how many pieces of paper are in those little things. But if you have the craft section, if you have a Dollar Tree near you, I highly suggest going to the craft section and see what they have there. This is a piece of muslin that was just hanging out on my desk. Okay, and I don't really like that, so we're going to collage that a little bit. What do we have on the front? Let's see. Yeah, I think we will use that. That kind of goes with that green, and it's got a little bit of pink in it. Okay, so what we're going to do is rip the edges. And I like ripped edges. It just makes everything look so, I don't know, shabby chic. Put together though, still. You know, one of my junk journals I was tearing all my papers with a ruler, and I had showed it to one of my friends, and she said, "Oh my gosh, how did you get that deckled edge?" And I said, I didn't even know that's what it was called. But how I got that deckled edge was that I was trying to tear too many pages at the same time with my ruler, and it's just a regular old ruler, but I had to tear it off in tiny little bits because the papers were, you know, too many, and there was some cardstock in there also, so it was a little bit hard to tear. So I am going to just cover up these sides there so you can't see them. And then we're going to call it a night. Let's see. I just need to tear off a little bit down here. And we're going to tear off both sides because this is one of those 12 by 12s that come in a paper pack. And a lot of them give you that little extra leeway there, about a 1/4 of an inch or whatever. And so there's always that line there that lets you know that's where 12 inches should be. So, and more scraps. I'm actually not going to save those scraps because they are too small. Well, that's not entirely true. I actually had some scraps that were a little bit smaller than this, and they were straight edged because I cut them with my paper cutter. And I forget what I was doing, but it ended up as an embellishment on something, because what I did was I took all of those tiny little pieces. They were maybe a 1/4 of an inch wide and maybe like an inch to an inch and a half long. And actually, I think it's on the desk behind me. I'll look real quick and I'll point that out, because if I put it on when I think I put it on, then that was actually my very first video that I did. Oh, is that not long? Well, that's going to have to do, because this is not perfection here. Far from it. Okay. And that one side's a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that because nothing is perfect, and it's going to be beautiful just the way it is. Although I probably should have put this in there and not worried about that centerpiece. Okay, we're going to take our trusty little, I don't know what it's called. I guess it's called a scraper. Get the glue off of it. There's so much glue on this thing, it's ridiculous. Okay, and we're just going to gently lift that edge and put that in there, because paper does not really like to be bent, especially if you're going against the grain. It's easier to tear, and so we just need to get that in there. And then this will actually keep it overnight under a book, so it will dry flat, and then I'll do this again in the morning. A little crinkly there. Okay, let's see. So what we need to do is just check for any loose edges, and then just make sure that that's glued down. Okay. Did I get them all? Yeah, little corner right here. Okay. Alright, this is crafting on the fly just with the junk that's on my desk. The cast-offs and leftovers. Okay, so far so good. We don't necessarily need to bend it the other way, but I am going to just a tad bit so we can see what we got going on there. Work those corners or those edges in, and now we're going to let it dry. But before I go, I'm going to tell you how big it is. It is approximately what am I doing here? It is approximately 3 3/4 wide by approximately 6 inches tall. Okay, now we have a little cover. I think that is big enough to make 2 signatures out of, to put in there without getting too squished up, because my journals tend to get a little chunky, but that's okay. All right. Thanks for coming back and watching. If you like what you saw, please hit like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.